So welcome to this video series on aptitude presented by Mentors for IAS in association with Bangalore IAS Academy and Namak APSC. So this is an initiative of Namak APSC to help students to prepare and study from home with the help of YouTube videos, current affairs available on the website, PDF materials for every subject and online tests to track your preparation. So do remember to visit www.namakapsc.com for more information. So in this particular video as well, we will continue to solve few more problems on this particular concept, that is percentage, hoping that with this particular session, this particular concept should be thorough, it should be clear. Everybody should be able to solve almost any kind of question that you get from percentages. So now let us start with the first question. Now, the first question says, the price of rice is reduced by 2%. How many kgs of rice can be bought for the money which was sufficient to buy 49 kgs earlier? So I hope you understood the question. So the person had some amount of money with which he would buy 49 kgs earlier. Now the price of rice has reduced by 2%. So with that same amount of money, how many kgs of rice can he now buy with the reduced price? So for this particular question, what I am going to do is, let us assume the price of rice. Okay, let us assume the price of rice to be 1 rupee per kg. Let the price of rice be rupee 1 per kg. So 1 kg of rice will cost how much? Just 1 rupee. So if 1 kg costs 1 rupee, how many rupees does he need? What is the amount of money that he requires to purchase 49 kgs? Nothing but 49 rupees, correct? So according to our assumption, the amount of money that he has at present is rupees 49. It is rupees 49. With rupees 49, he obviously buys 49 kgs of rice. But now the question is saying, what if the price of rice has reduced by 2%? Now, applying this to our assumption, what have we assumed? 1 kg of rice is nothing but 1 rupee. Nothing but 1 rupee. Now, if the price reduces by 2%, meaning what? This 1 rupee reduces by 2%. If 1 rupee reduces by 2%, what is the amount of money? It is nothing but 98 paise, correct? It is nothing but 98 paise or 0.98 rupees, correct? See, 1 rupee is how much? 1 rupee is nothing but 100 paise. 1 rupee is nothing but 100 paise. So if 100 paise is 100%, there's a reduction of how much? By 2%. There's a reduction of 2%. So how much is 2%? Nothing but 2 into 100 divided by 100 equal to 2 paise. So reduction of 2% is nothing but reduction of 2 paise. So now the money or the price of rice has reduced to 0.98 rupees or 98 paise from 1 rupees. So now 1 kg of rice costs how much? 98 paise. 98 paise. Now what is the amount of money he has in pocket, in hand? It is 49 rupees. So if 1 kg costs 98 paise, how many kgs can he buy for 49 rupees? That is what the question is asking for. So what will we do? We will now cross multiply. So it is 49 into 1 divided by 0.98, or I can write it as 49 into 100 divided by 98. So now look here, 49 2s is nothing but 98. It is obvious. So 49 2 times is nothing but 98. 2 into 50 is equal to 100. Therefore, how many kgs is he able to buy with 49 rupees now? He is able to buy 50 kgs of rice. Therefore, the correct option for question 1 is option C. He is able to buy or purchase 50 kgs. So now let us move over to the next question, question number 2. Now what does question number 2 say? Question number 2 says a reduction of 21% in the price of wheat enables a person to buy 10.5 kgs more for rupees 100. So what is the reduced price per kg? According to the question, there's a reduction of 21% in the price of wheat, because of which he is able to buy 10.5 kgs more for 100 rupees. Meaning earlier he used to able to buy some number of kgs of wheat for 100 rupees. But due to this 21% reduction in price, now he is able to buy 10.5 kgs extra. So here, according to the question, what is the total amount of money he has? The total amount of money is nothing but rupees 100. Now rupees 100 remains fixed. We only have to find out what is the reduced price per kg. What is the reduced price per kg? In order to determine the reduced price per kg, we have to determine the original price first. Only after you determine the original price can you reduce it by 21% and then determine the reduced price. So what we will do is that, just like the previous question where we assumed it to be some rupees or some kg, whatever it is, here also we will assume something. So what I am going to do is, okay, first case, what I am going to do is, I am going to assume let the original price of wheat before the 21% reduction be rupees X per kg. So before 21% reduction, how much does it cost? It costs rupees X to buy 1 kg of wheat. This is what I am assuming. Now, if it costs X rupees to buy 1 kg, how many kgs can he purchase for rupees 100? Why am I saying rupees 100? Because he has rupees 100 in his pocket. Total money is rupees 100. So he has a total of rupees 100. 1 kg of wheat costs X rupees. Then for rupees 100, how many kgs can he buy? See here, X rupees, 1 kg. Then for 100 rupees, how many kgs? Cross multiply here. What do you get? You get 100 by X kgs. Therefore, for 100 rupees, how many kgs? It is nothing but 100 by X kgs that he is able to buy. Now consider the second case. Now the price of wheat has reduced by 21%. Okay. Now, if the original price of wheat was X rupees, what is the price of wheat after 21% reduction? After 21% reduction, how much is it? See, X is 100%. X is 100%. Now there is a 21% reduction. There is a 21% reduction. So how much is 21%? It is nothing but what? 21 by 100 into X. It is equal to 0.21X. Meaning the price of rice has now reduced by 0.21X. Meaning the price after reduction is what? It is nothing but X minus 0.21X, which is equal to what? 0.79X. 79X. Therefore, after reducing the price by 21%, what is the new price? It is nothing but 0.79X rupees per kg. This is the amount of money per kg. So, if this is a new rate, then for 100 rupees, how many kgs can he buy? For 1 kg, it costs 0.79X rupees. Then for 100 rupees, how many kgs can he buy? This is nothing but 100 divided by 0.79X. 0.79X. Now look at the question. The question is saying after reduction of 21% in the price of wheat, the person is able to buy 10.5 kgs more for 100 rupees. So consider these two cases. Consider these two cases. Here he is buying 100 rupees for 100 rupees at original price. Here he is buying also for 100 rupees at the reduced price. Correct? This is 100 by x kgs, 100 divided by 0.79 x kgs. Sorry, not here, it is in the denominator here. 100 divided by 0.79 x kgs. So if this is the case, then the second case minus the first case should be equal to 10.5 kgs, correct? This is the amount of kgs that he is able to buy at 0.79x. Then 2 minus 1, meaning what? 100 divided by 0.79x minus 100x should be equal to 10.5 kgs. The difference between them is equal to 10.5 kgs. So now what I will do is, I will take 100 and x common out. What am I left with? I have 1 divided by 0.79 minus 1 is equal to 10.5. So this is what 100 divided by x, 1 minus 0.79 divided by 0.79 is equal to 10.5, is equal to 10.5 over here. This is nothing but, let me write it here, 100 by x into 1 minus 0.79 is nothing but 0.21 divided by 0.79 is equal to 10.5. Now what do we have to find out? I have to first determine the value of x. So let me just erase all this so that I can make some more space. Okay, so I'm just going to erase all this. Okay, so what do we have here? We have 100 divided by x into, I'm going to write 0.21 divided by 0.79 as 21 by 79 is equal to 10.5, So I'll take x to the right hand side and I will bring 10.5, I'll bring 10.5 to the denominator. So what do we have here? We have x is equal to 100 into 21 divided by, or I'll write it as 1000, and here I'll write it as 105 into 79 over here. So yes, so 21 5s is 105, correct? 21 5s are 5 1s are 5, 5 2s are 10. This is 5 times over here, and what do I have here? 5 2s are 10, 200 divided by 200 into 79. So x is what? 200 by 79. X is nothing but 200 by 79. So what is the original price? Original price is 200 by 79 rupees per kg. Per kg is 200 by 79 rupees per kg. What do we have to find out? We have to find out the reduced price. I'm not going to divide 200 by 70. It is not necessary. Okay, because I'm pretty sure it will always cancel out. So now trying to find out the reduced price. What is reduced price? Nothing but 0.79x. What was the reduced price? Reduced price was nothing but 0.79x. So if the reduced price is 0.79x and x is nothing but 200 by 79, what do we get? We get 0.79 into 200 by 79. 0.79 100 times is nothing but 79. 100 and 0 gets cancelled. We have what? We have rupees 2. Therefore, what is the reduced price? Reduced price is 2 rupees per kg. After this 21% reduction, now the price of wheat is what? It is rupees 2 per kg. Therefore, the correct option is option A. The correct answer is rupees 2. It is rupees 2. So I hope you've been able to follow this particular question. I have explained it step by step. It does not matter, again, as I always, it does not matter if it takes a few seconds extra. Please follow the method, please follow the step, because if you understand this, any kind of problem, you should be able to do it. So let us now move on to the third question. Question number 3. Now, question number 3 says, due to an increase of 30% in the price of eggs, 3 eggs less are available for ₹7.80. The present rate of eggs per dozen after price rise is what? Now this particular question is a bit similar to the previous question, except that instead of reduction in price, now there is a increase in price. Due to increase in price, the quantity of the commodity that you are able to buy has reduced. In this case, the commodity is eggs, and hence due to the rise in price of eggs by 30%, the number of eggs that you are able to buy for ₹7.80 has reduced by 3 eggs. So as usual, I am going to mention here the total amount of money. What is the total money? It is ₹7.80. It is ₹7.80. What do we have to find out? We have to find out the cost of eggs. The cost of eggs. How many eggs? 12 eggs. Correct? 1 dozen is 12 eggs. The cost of 12 eggs after the increase in price. After the increase in price or at the new price. So what I am going to do is, just like the previous example, I am going to say the first case, let x be the price of 1 egg. Let x be the price of 1 egg. So 1 egg costs how much? 1 egg costs x rupees. If 1 egg costs x rupees, how many eggs can he buy for ₹7.80? Nothing but ₹7.80 by x. Therefore, for ₹7.80, how many eggs? It is nothing but 7.8 divided by x. Now, second case. Now there is an increase in the price of eggs by 30%. Then what is the new price per egg? The new price per egg is how much? If there's an increase in 30%, how much is it? Nothing but 1.3x. Correct? See, if x rupees was 100%, what is 30% increase? Nothing but 30 by 100x or 0.3x, meaning the price of x has increased by 0.3x. Originally it was 1. So the new is what? The new price is what? 1x plus 0.3x, which is nothing but 1.3x. So now the new price is 1.3x. But the amount of money he has does not change. It is still ₹7.80. Then for ₹7.80, how many eggs can he buy at this new rate of 1.3x rupees? This is nothing but 7.8 divided by 1.3x. Now, this is the new price. Now, the question says that after the increase in price, the number of eggs that he is able to buy at ₹7.80 has reduced by 3x. What does this imply? The first case minus the second case is equal to 3x, correct? How many eggs can he buy? 7.8 by x. In this case, 7.8 divided by 1.3x. If I divide this, if I subtract the second case from the first case, the difference should be equal to 3x. So that is what I am going to do exactly. So 1 minus 2, what do we get? We get 7.8 divided by x minus of 7.8 divided by 1.3x. This is equal to 3. What will I do? I will take 7.8 divided by x as common. So I have 1 minus 1 divided by 1.3 is equal to 3. So this leaves me with 7.x 7.8 divided by x into, here LCM I take, I get 1.3 minus 1 divided by 1.3 is equal to 3. I'm going to write this over here now. What do we have? 7.8 divided by x into 1.3 minus 1 is nothing but 0.3 divided by 1.3 is equal to 3. 0.3 10 times is equal to 3. So now I will bring x to the right hand side. I will take 10 to the left hand side. What do I have? I have 7.8 divided by 10 into 1 divided by 1.3 is equal to x, is equal to x. Now I can write this as 78 by 13 into 10, 78 by 13 into 10. You can just cancel the decimal point in the numerator and the denominator by multiplying and dividing by 10. Okay. Now if you look here, if you know the 13's table, obviously 78 is divisible by 13. 13 6 is 78. 13 6 is 78. You can check here. 13 into 6, 6 3s are 18, 6 1s are 6, 7. Therefore, it is actually important for you, if you remember the tables, it becomes much easier when it comes to calculations. So, 13 6 is 78. Therefore, what is x? X is nothing but 6 by 10, or it is 3 by 5 rupees. Or it is 3 by 5 rupees. Now, if the original price is 3 by 5 rupees, that is x, then what is the new price? The new price is what? The new price is nothing but the 30% increase. It is nothing but 30% increase. Now if there is a 30% increase in x, then what do? We have to multiply it by 1.3. Therefore, the new price after increase is what? It is nothing but 1.3 into 3 divided by 5. This is the amount of rupees per egg. What is the question asking for? Question is asking what is the present rate of x, that is after increase per dozen. If one egg costs 3 into 1.3 is 13 3 is 39, so this is nothing but 3.9 by 5 rupees per kg, sorry, per egg. Then for 12 eggs is how much? It is nothing but 3.9 into 12, 3.9 divided by 5 into 12. One egg costs 3.9 divided by 5. Therefore, for 1 dozen, it is nothing but 3.9 into 12 divided by 5 over here. So, how much do we get here? 39 into 12. 9 2s are 18. 9 2s are 18 over here. 3 2s are 6, 7. 9 1s are 9 and 3. So, we have 8. 9 plus 7 is 6. And 3. So, this is nothing but 368 by 5. 368 divided by 5. So, how much is 368 divided by 5? I am going to just divide it over here. 5 7s are 35. 1 8. 5 8. Correct? I think I have done something wrong. 5 7s are 35. Okay, 5 3s are 15. 3.0. It is 6. But there is no such answer over here. I think I have done something wrong. Let me just try to cross check. 39, 39.9, yes, 3.9, 3.9 by 5, 39 here maybe. 9 2s are 18, 1, 3 2s are 6, 7, correct. 9 9, correct. So it is 8, 9 plus 7, 16. Okay, here it is 1. I have missed out 1. So it is 468. My mistake, sorry. It is 468 divided. Therefore, therefore as I say always, it is important to write it clearly, or else you tend to make mistakes in calculations. Okay, so it is my mistake here. This is incorrect. Okay, it is not 368, it is 468 divided by 5, or 46.8, sorry, again see my mistake, 46.8 divided by 5. So I will now divide 46.8 divided by 5. So 5 nines are 45, 1 8, 5 threes are 15, I get 3, 5 6 are 30, 5 6 are 30. Therefore, it is 93.6. If I consider decimal point over here, it has to be 9.36. Therefore, 1 dozen of x, that is 12 x, will cost how much? It will cost you rupees 9.36. Therefore, the correct option is option C. Therefore, the correct option is option C. Rupees 9.36 is the price of 12x. Again, I hope it is clear because of the constraint in space. I also sometimes tend to make mistakes, but I hope you followed, you've understood how to proceed with problems such as this over here. So let us now move over to the second question, the fourth question. Question number 4. Now, what does question number 4 say? Now, question number 4 says, Amit's monthly income is 30% more than that of Ronnie. Ronnie's monthly income is 20% less than that of Deepak. It is less than that of Deepak. If the difference between the monthly incomes of Amit and Deepak is 800 rupees, then what is the monthly income of Ronnie? Now again, similar to previous questions, I am going to assume x. I am going to assume something as x. But in order for me to explain how does this assumption of x go about, let me give you an example. Okay, so instead of x, I will take 100 rupees. So what I am going to assume is, let Ronnie's monthly salary be 100 rupees. I am assuming let Ronnie's monthly salary be equal to 100 rupees. Now, if the monthly salary of Ronnie is 100 rupees, then going by the question which says Amit's monthly income is 30% more than that of Ronnie, then what will Amit's income be? Amit's income is nothing but 1.3 into that of Ronnie's salary, that is 100, which is equal to 130 rupees. Correct? See, it is 30% more than that of Ronnie. If Ronnie's salary is 100 rupees and 100 rupees is 100%, how many rupees is 30%? Nothing but 30 rupees, correct? 30 into 100 divided by 100%. So it is nothing but 100 and 100 gets cancelled, it is 30 rupees. So there's an increase of 30 rupees extra. So it is 100 plus 30, which gives us 130 rupees, or you can straight away multiply it by 1.3. Okay, because there's a 30% increase. The question further says Ronnie's monthly income is 20% less than that of Deepak. Ronnie's monthly income is 20% less than that of Deepak. Then how do we find out Deepak's salary? So what I am going to do is, I am going to consider Deepak's salary as 100% now. So if Deepak's salary is 100%, according to the question, Ronnie's salary is 20% less. Then Ronnie's salary in comparison to Deepak's salary will be 80%. Why 80%? Because it is 20% less. However, I know what is Ronnie's salary. What is Ronnie's salary? Ronnie's salary is 100 rupees. Then can I determine Deepak's salary? Of course I can determine Deepak's salary. Deepak's salary will be what? It is nothing but 100 into 100 divided by 80. Then Deepak's salary is what? It is 100 into 100, or I can say it is 10,000 divided by 80 rupees. Then I can say if the difference between the monthly incomes of Amit and Deepak is rupees 800, meaning I have to take the difference between Amit and Deepak's, which is equal to 800 rupees. Then I should be able to determine what is the monthly income of Ronnie. So this is how I am going to go about. But instead of assuming it as 100 rupees, I am going to say let Ronnie's monthly salary or monthly income be x rupees. This I have done only to explain it to you. How am I going to go about assuming x so that it is easier for you to understand. So now I am going to say let ours or Ronnie's salary be x rupees. Now if Ronnie's salary is x rupees, what is Amit's salary? Amit's salary is what? 1.3 into 100. In this case it is what? 1.3 into x, or it is 1.3x rupees. Now take Deepak's salary. What is Deepak's salary? Deepak's salary is in comparison with Ronnie's salary, where Ronnie's monthly income is 20% less than that of Deepak. Now look here, what was this? It was nothing but 100, that is Ronnie's salary, into 100 by 80. Into 100 by 80. So what will I do here for Deepak's salary? Similar to that, I'll take 100 by 80 into x. This is Deepak's salary. So 0 and 0 gets cancelled. 10 and 8 is 5 by 4. 5 by 4 into x rupees. This is Deepak's monthly income. Now the question further says if the difference between the monthly incomes of Amit and Deepak, meaning if I subtract Deepak's salary from Amit's salary, it should amount to 800 rupees. Then what is Ronnie's salary? So what do we have to determine? We have to determine the value of x, because x is Ronnie's monthly salary. So a minus d is 800. What is a? A is nothing but 1.3x. Minus of d. What is d? D is nothing but 5 by 4x. This is equal to how much? This is equal to 800. This is equal to 800. Now taking LCM, 1.3 is 13 4 is 52. So I am going to write this as 5.2x minus 5x is equal to, I am going to take 4 to the right hand side. I have 800 into 4. 5.2x minus 5x is how much? It is nothing but 0.2x. 0.2x is equal to 800 by 4. Correct? So 0.2 into 20 is equal to 4. Therefore x is what? X is nothing but 800 into 20. This is equal to how much? 8 to the 16. It is equal to 16,000 rupees. Therefore, what is Ronnie's monthly salary? Ronnie's monthly salary is rupees 16,000. The correct option is option B. It is rupees 16,000. So now let us move on to the next question. That is question number 5. Now, what does question number 5 say? Question number 5 says, in an examination in which full marks were 800, A gets 20% more than B, B gets 20% more than C, and C gets 15% less than D. If A got 576, what percentage of full marks did D get approximately? What percentage of full marks did D get approximately? So going by the question over here in the examination, okay, what is the total marks? Total marks is 800. So in the examination, full marks is 800. Now A is getting 20% more than B, B gets 20% more than C, and C gets 15% less than D. So if A got 576 marks, what percentage of full marks did D get? Okay. Now starting with this question itself, here A gets 20% more than B. So I am going to assume for B. I am going to assume for B so that it is easier for us. So let me assume B to get X marks. Let X be the marks scored by B. Let X be the marks scored by B. Now, if X is the marks scored by B, then how much marks does B score? What is the marks scored by B? Sorry, if X is the marks scored by B, then what is the marks scored by A? A gets 20% more than B. Then what is it? It is nothing but 1.2 into X. Therefore, the marks scored by A is 1.2x. I hope by this time it is clear. See, x is 100%. Correct? A gets 20% more. Then what is A's marks? 120%. Then A is what? Nothing but 120x divided by 100, which is nothing but 1.2x. So A's marks is 1.2x. The question further says B gets 20% more than C. B gets 20% more than C. Meaning, if for B, B's marks which is x, B's marks which is x, if this is 120%, if this is 120%, then C's marks is how much? It has to be 100%. Then how much is C? C is nothing but 100x by 120. 100x by 120. Please don't get confused as to how do you take it. Now I'm not going to take x as 100 and I have to then determine. No, here it is x is 120 and C is 100%. Then how do you determine what is the what is the number of marks scored by C? So the number of marks scored by C is how much? It is nothing but 100x by 120. 0 and 0 gets cancelled. This is nothing but 5 by 6x. Therefore, the total marks scored by C is what? The total marks scored by C is 5 by 6x. The question further says C gets 15% less than D. C gets 15% less than D. Meaning, if C's marks, that is 5 by 6x is 15% less than D, where D's marks, if I take it to be 100%, if I am considering D's marks to be 100%, then C's marks, which is 5 by 6x, will be how much percent? It will be 85%. Then what is D's marks? It is nothing but 100 into 5 by 6x whole thing divided by 85. Therefore, what is the marks scored by D? What is the marks scored by D? The marks scored by D will be 100 into 5x divided by 85 into 6. So this is the marks scored by D. This is the marks scored by D. Now what is the question asking? So now in terms of x, we have determined the marks scored by all four, that is A, B, C and D. Now based on the extra information which is given by the question or given in the question, we should be able to determine what is the percentage of marks scored by D with respect to the total marks, which is 800. Now see, the question is saying A got 576 marks. Meaning, if A got 576 marks, what does this mean? 1.2x is equal to 576. Then x is what? 576 divided by 1.2, or I will write it as 576 divided by 12. I'll write it as 576 divided by 12. So this should be divisible by 4. 76, 468. Yes, so 76 is divisible by 4, meaning 576 should also be divisible by 4. So 4 3s are 12. So 4 1s are 4. 1 7 4 4s are 16. 1 carry 4 4s are 16 over here. So we have x as nothing but 144 by 3. X is nothing but 144 by 3. If it is 144 by 3, then 3 4s are 12, 2 4, 8 3s are 24. Therefore, what is the value of x? The value of x is what? It is nothing but 48. It is nothing but 48. So if x is 48, what is the marks scored by D? What is the marks scored by D? The marks scored by D will be 100 into 5 into 48 into 48 divided by 85 into 6 divided by 85 into 6. So this is 5 17s 5 17s is 85. 8 5 is 48, 6 are 48, so 6 8 times is 48. So what do we get? 8 into 100 is 800. 800 by 17 is the marks scored by D. This is the marks scored by D. What is the question asking for? What is the percentage of D? what is the percentage score of D. Now, total marks is how much? 800. Meaning what? If 800 is 100%, how much is 800 by 17? How much is 800 by 17? Then what do? We go for 800 into 100 divided by 800 into 17. 800 into 17. So what do we get here? Sorry, 800 into 17 over here. I think I missed out the 0 over here. It is, okay, it is 480. Sorry, it is 80, 0. So it is 80 over here. So it is 8,000 over here. 8,000 by 17. So 8,000 over here. Okay. So this is 10 times. 800 10 is 8,000. So what do we get? We get 1,000 by 17. 1,000 by 17. Now if you look at the options, it seems that we'll have to divide 1,000 by 17 to determine the score of D in terms of percentage. Let me just erase it. Okay, so today's problems, they have a lot of calculations. Sometimes you cannot help it. There can be few problems where you have a lot of calculations. Not in all problems, but few problems you will get in your civil services examinations where you may have a bit of calculations to be carried out. So what will we do? We will now divide 1,000 by 17. We will now divide 1,000 by 17. Please be careful in calculations. Don't do careless mistakes or silly mistakes the way I have done twice today. Now 1,000 divided by 17. 10, 100. 17 5s is 85. 17 5s is 85. So 100 minus 85 is 15. So we have 150. So 17 10s is 170. So 8 is 170 minus 34. So it is 136. So 17 8s is 136. So what do we have here? We have 14 remaining. Decimal 0 over here. So again 8s itself. We get 136 and then we can carry on. But it is not required that we carry on because we have 58.8% over here in the options itself. Therefore, the correct option is option C. The correct answer is 58.8%. The correct answer is 58.8%. So I hope this question is clear. These type of questions you may get in your civil services examination. Even though there's a bit of calculations to be done, it is possible. So these are the questions that actually takes a bit of time, but answer, it is possible that you get the answer. Only thing is you have to be careful with the calculations. So the next question, question number 6. Now what does question number 6 say? Now question number 6 says fresh fruit contains 68% water and dry fruit contains 20% water. How much dry fruit can be obtained from 100 kgs of fresh fruits? Now here I would request you to read the question twice, try to understand what the question is asking for. The question is saying if you take a fresh fruit, in that fresh fruit 68% of the weight is water. 68 remaining is what? 32%. 32% of the quantity, 32% of the weight will be the fruit, that is the flesh of the fruit. However, if you dry the fruit, then through the drying process a lot of water is lost. Then if the water is lost, the total weight of the fruit also comes down. But the weight of the fruit itself, that is flesh of the fruit, the weight of the flesh of the fruit does not change. The weight of the flesh of the fruit remains the same. Only the thing is that the water quantity reduces due to water being lost from the fruit. So now since the water is reduced, water contributes to 20% of the total weight. Water contributes to 20% of the total weight. It is not that you cannot compare the two cases. After drying, 20% of the water with respect to the total weight. Before drying, it is 68% of the total weight, that is water. So I hope you've understood this particular question. So now let us try to solve it. So what I am going to do is that I am going to say let one fruit weigh x kgs. Let the weight of the fruit be x kgs. Let the weight of the fruit be x kgs. Now, if the weight of the fruit is x kgs, according to the question, 68% of the fruit is water, meaning 68% of the weight is water. So, if the total weight is x kgs, what is the weight of the water in that fruit? It is nothing but 0.68x. Yes, by now I hope it is clear why it is 0.68x. It is nothing but 68 by 100x. Why? Because 100 is x is 100%. Then how much is 68%? Nothing but 68 into x divided by 100. Therefore, the weight of water in that fruit is how much? 0.68x. If this is the weight of the water, then what is the weight of the flesh of the fruit? That will be how much? The remaining. That is x minus 0.68x, that is equal to 0.32x, meaning 32% of the weight of the fruit is what? Nothing but flesh of the fruit makes up for 32% of the weight. Now what is happening is, we go for the drying process. We go for the drying process where water is lost. Now out of the total weight after the drying process, 20% is water. Now the total weight is not x kgs. It has reduced. But what is going to happen is that even though the quantity or the weight of the water changes, the weight of the flesh of the fruit, this is not going to change. So even after the drying process, what is the weight of the flesh of the fruit? That will still remain the same, and it is nothing but 0.32x. So this is the weight of the flesh. If this is the weight of the flesh, what is weight of the water? This is what we have to actually determine in order for us to find out how much dry fruit can be obtained from 100 kgs of fresh fruits. In order to determine how much kgs of dry fruits can be obtained from 100 kgs of fresh fruits, we have to determine what is the quantity of water present over here. So what will happen here is, see here, 0.32x is flesh. Out of the total weight, 20% is water. Meaning, after the drying process, if only 20% makes up the weight of the water, 80% of the weight of the fruit is what? It is nothing but flesh of the fruit. Meaning, 80% of the weight after the drying process is flesh of the fruit, which is nothing but 0.32x. Then, what is weight of the water in the fruit? That is 20%. How much is this? This is nothing but 20 into 0.32 divided by 80. So 20 divided 4s are 2 4s are 8. This is how much? This is x over here. So it is nothing but 4 8s are 30. So it is 0.08x. It is nothing but 0.08x, which is the quantity of water or the weight of the water. So after the drying process, what is the weight of the water? The weight of the water is how much? It is nothing but 0.08x. Now what is the total weight of the fruit after the drying process, after a lot of water is lost? It is nothing but 10 over here. It is 0.4x. So the question is asking for how much dry fruit can be obtained from 100 kgs of fresh fruit. So we have assumed what? Let one fruit weigh x kgs. So after the drying process, x kgs becomes 0.4x kgs. Then 100 kgs of fresh fruit will become what? 100 kgs of fresh fruit will become what? Again cross multiply 100 into 0.4 x divided by x, x and x gets cancelled. 0.4 into 100 is what? It is nothing but 40 kgs. So if you have 100 kgs of fresh fruits, after the drying process, the dry fruits will weigh how much? The dry fruits will weigh only 40 kgs. Therefore, the correct option is option B. Answer is 40 kgs. I hope you understood. This is nothing but the process of understanding over here with respect to this particular question. So now moving on to the next question. Question number 7. Now what does question number 7 say? Now question number 7 says the population of a town increases by 5% annually. The population of a town increases by 5% annually. If its population in 2001 was 1,38,915, what was the population in the year 1998? So what the question is saying that there was the population of this particular town was some number in the year 1998. It increases 5% every year. So from 1998 to 99 it increased by 5%. Then from 99 to 98 it again increased by 5%. 99 to 2000. From 2000 to 2001 it again increased by 5% to eventually result in 1,38,915 as the population of this particular town. So what is the question asking for? Question is asking for the original population, that is in 1998. So now what I am going to do is that again as usual I am going to assume X. So I am going to assume let the population. So we are going to work our way from backwards. Okay. So let the population of the town be X. So there are X number of persons, X number of people. Let the population of the town be X in the year 1998. So from 1998 to 1999, that is in the year 1999, the population has increased by how much? The population has increased by 5%. So in the year 1999, now what is the population? Now the population is what? Population is nothing but increase by 5%. See, if X is 100%, how much is 5%? Nothing but 5 into X divided by 100. This is how much the population has increased. This is the increase in population. So the final population is what? It is nothing but X plus 5X by 100. So can I say it is taking LCM 105 divided by 100X? Yes. Meaning what? In the year 1999, what is the population? The population is 105 divided by 100 into X. Now, from 1999 to 2000, there is once again 5% increase. 5% increase over what? It is not 5% increase over X, it is 5% increase over this population. Therefore, in 2000, what is the resultant population? It is 105 into 100 into 105 by 100x. It is 5% increase over the 1999 population. Then from 2001 to 2000, from 2000 to 2001, there is once again 5% increase. This 5% increase is over this population. So there is another 5% increase. So it is 105 divided by 100 over 105 divided by 100 into 105 divided by 100. So in the year 2001, what is the population? It is nothing but 105 by 100 into 105 by 100 into 105 by 100 into x. This is the population 2001. Now the question is saying that in 2001 the population was 1,38,915. Meaning what? This is equal to 1,38,915. This is equal to 1,38,915. So with respect to this, I hope it is actually clear. So now it is important for us to determine the value of x. If we determine the value of x, it will give us the population of the town in the year 1998. Now obviously calculators are not allowed in your examination hall. Unfortunately, you will have to simplify it by yourself. Now see, it is 105 and 1,30,915. So it is obviously we can simplify it by 5. So 5 2s are 10, 5 2s are 10 and 5 1s are 5. So it is 21, 5 2s are 10, 3 8, 5 7s are 35, 35 35, correct. So 3 and 9, 39. So again 5 7s are 35, 4 1 5 8s are 40, 1 5 5 3s are 15, 5 3s are 15. So I think this should be divisible by 3. 7 7 3 10, 10 plus 19, 19 plus 8 27. Yes, it should be divisible by 3. So 3 7s are 21, 3 7s are 21. So 3 9s are 27, 3 2s are 6, 1 8 3 6 are 18, 3 1s are 3. I am hoping it should be divisible by 7 as well. So if I check for 7, 7 1s are 7, 2 2 3s are 21, 1 6, so 2s are 14, 2 1. Yes, it is divisible by 7. So 1, just a moment. Yes, 1. So 7 1s are 7. 2 2 is, so 7 3s are 21, 1 carry 16, so 7 2s are 14, 2 1 it is 7 3s are it is 21, 7 3s are it is 21. So again it is divisible by 3, it is divisible by 3, or should be divisible by 7. 7 1s are 7 1s are 7 1s are 7 1s are 7, so 6 2, 7 8s are 56. I am hoping 7 8s are 56. So 6 3, 7 9s are 63. Yes, this is divisible by 7. 7 1s are 7, 3 5, 7 5s are 35. Similarly, this is also divisible by 7. 7 2s are 14, 4 9, 7 7s are 49. This is again 15. 3 5s are 15, 3 9s are 27, 3 3s are 9, again 3 5s are 15, again 3 5s are 15 over here. So what are we left with? X is nothing but taking all these hundreds to the right hand side. We have 100 into 100 into 100 into 3 divided by 5 into 5. 5 into 5 is 25, 25 4s it is 100, 4 3s is 12. So it is 12 into 100 into 100, it is nothing but 1,20,000. So the population is 1,20,000. Therefore the correct option is option D. The correct answer is 1,20,000. I'm sorry, there is no escape from it. You'll have to calculate it manually to determine the answer. So question number 8, we'll quickly try and solve question number 8. Now question number 8 says the value of a machine depreciates at the rate of 10% every year. It was purchased 3 years ago. If its present value is rupees 8,748, its purchase price was what? Depreciation means the reduction in the price of any good that you take. If you take your car, if your car is worth 10 lakhs, next year it is not going to be 10 lakhs. The value would have depreciated. It might be worth 9 lakhs. So there's reduction in price. So this particular good was purchased 3 years ago and its present value was 878. So let us assume that presently it is 2010. Then it was purchased when? It was purchased in 2000. You can take it as 2017. That is 3 years back. 3 years back. So in the year 2017, it was purchased at X rupees. I am going to assume that in the year 2000X, it was purchased at X rupees. So if the value of a machine depreciates at the rate of 10%, it is depreciating by 10%, then every year it reduces, the value of the good actually reduces by 10%. So in 2017, if it was X rupees, then next year in 2018, it will be what? It is nothing but 90 by 100x. Correct? See, in the previous question there was a 5% increase. So what did we do? We multiplied it by 105 by 100 into x. In this case, there's a decrease of 10%. So now we are going to multiply 90 by 100 into x. 90, see here, x is 100%. Therefore 10% reduction is what? 10x by 100. This is a reduction. So it is nothing but x minus 10 by 100x, which is nothing but 90 by 100x. So now in 2018, the price is 90 by 100x. The next year, that is for the second year, it again reduces by 10%. If it again reduces by 10% of what? Of this. So it is 90 by 100 into 90 by 100 of x. Finally, 2020. So it is 90 by 100 into 90 by 100 into 90 by 100 x. So in 2020 the price is what it is, 8,448, meaning 90 by 100 into 90 by 100 into 90 by 100 is equal to what? It is equal to 8,448 x here. So we have to now find out the value of x. That was the original purchase price. So I'm hoping it is actually divisible by 3. 8 8s are 16, 16 4 20, 27, yes. So we'll take, okay, 0, 0 and 0 gets cancelled. So we only have 9 over here, or it should be divisible by 9 itself. 9 9s are 81, 6 4, 63, yes, it is divisible by 9. So 9 9s are 81, 9 9s are 81, 6 4, 9 7s are 63, 1 8, 9 2s are 18. Again it is divisible by 9, obviously 9 1s are 9, 9 8s are 72, 108, yes, 108 is obviously 12 9s are is nothing but 108. Therefore x is what? X is nothing but 12 into 10 into 10, it is equal to 1,200 rupees. Sorry, one more 10 over here, 0, 12,000 rupees. Therefore the correct option is option C. The correct answer is 12,000 rupees. So here we have few practice questions. Please do try and practice and try to see if you get the correct answer. Now the solution or the answer for these questions will be posted in the comment section. So with this particular video we end our discussion on, we end this concept of percentage, and with the next video onwards we'll take up a different topic to solve. So with these many problems that we have solved, I've extensively tried to cover different types of problems under this concept of percentage. Up to some extent I'm hoping that everybody should be able to solve problems on percentage. Up to some extent this concept must be clear. So if you do have any doubts, please do write to us in the comment section. If you did like the video, please do subscribe, please do follow us for more such videos. Thank you.